Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm also going to talk about a few other things that are going on as well. Ripple has been named this year's Tearsheet Power of Payments winner for Best Fiat Crypto Payments. You know, whenever they're giving out awards for payments, Ripple wins time and time again. They go on to talk about how Ripple is spanning over 55 countries and facilitating billions in transactions. They also talk about how Ripple demonstrates significant market impact, and they're getting ready to launch their new RLUSD stablecoin as well. But every single time there's an award for cross-border payments, Ripple wins because the technology is absolutely game-changing. Now, a lot of people on X said this is an XRP kiosk where you could buy XRP. But what it actually is a vending machine that gives you XRP merchandise for answering questions correctly. I just wanted to clear that up because I see so many people asking, when is one of these going to be available in my town? XRP Ledger has one main obstacle for new user onboarding. So they're saying this is the problem right here. The 10 XRP wallet reserve is a major obstacle for onboarding new users to the XRP ledger. After seeing its impact on user onboarding this week, I'm convinced it's unreasonable to maintain such a high reserve. So think about what 10 XRP cost right now, around $5. But think about when XRP is sitting at $100. Then I could see this being a major impact. Right now, I think it's just somebody nitpicking at XRP and the XRP ledger. But this will be a problem at some point in the future. Think about if you want to get involved with XRP. It could easily end up costing you $10,000. Later, it could cost you even more than that, as the price of XRP gets higher and higher over time. But I don't think it's a big impact right now. Here's a survey from Schwab. Asked investors which ETF asset classes they plan on investing in over the next year. So the number one asset for millennials is cryptocurrencies. You see it right here. So think about it like this. I think this is accurate to some extent. Most millennials would end up just buying the actual cryptocurrency instead of buying through an ETF. Same thing with Gen X. The boomers, I could see a problem there. They like to have safety nets. They wouldn't understand how to custody their crypto in some instances. So maybe they would be more into ETFs. Millennials and Gen Z, not so much in my opinion. What's your thoughts on that? Put it in the comment section down below. But if they're going to be investing in crypto, why don't they just buy the damn asset? Go out and buy some XRP on Uphold or Coinbase. Bank of America survey finds 62% of millennials prefer crypto as $84 trillion wealth transfer from older generations approaches. So they're saying this great wealth transfer that's going to happen. 62% of millennials would prefer to put that money into crypto. I agree with that as well. I think a lot of people will end up putting this money into crypto because nobody wants to put this money in a bank. They want to get returns on this money if they're investors. But here's the problem I see. Most people you talk to outside of crypto are never coming into this space. Sure, they might answer a survey and say, yes, I'm willing to invest, or yes, I'm going to invest. But at the end of the day, most of these people are never going to invest this money. A lot of people are also fighting off inflation, and a lot of people are in massive amounts of debt as well because of inflation. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. It currently costs $76,000 on average to mine a Bitcoin worth only $59,000 and dropping fast. Think about that. How is this sustainable over time? I keep seeing people saying, I'm going to get involved with Bitcoin mining. Who the hell wants to mine Bitcoin when it costs more to mine a Bitcoin than it is to just go and buy a Bitcoin? I don't understand the logic in this. And I think this is going to be a major problem as we push ahead with Bitcoin. RLUSD launched to trigger XRP surge to $10, expert says. I don't think it's going to surge to $10 off of the launch of RLUSD. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's going to happen that quick. This is kind of like the hype they were building up around the SEC versus Ripple case. As soon as that case ends, it's going to $10 overnight. I remember everybody was saying it, and I honestly thought that was going to happen at one point. But when you sit back and you think about it, you're like, okay, I could see a surge on the price, but then a lot of people would be selling off at the same time. I do, however, think RLUSD will continue to add value to XRP over time. I think it will get over $10 because of RLUSD, but I think it's going to take time to get there. It's not going to be an overnight event. And this comes from Bluehawk Legend. So it looks like the FBI wallet holds SHIB and 4 other altcoins. So they're holding Bone, Emax, Kishu, Sandshoe, and SHIB. So it looks like the Fed is now into meme coins. But I'm pretty sure this goes along with some sort of massive investigation that's going on at the FBI. So we have to wait and see where this goes from here. But think about that. Federal government employees holding meme coins, because that's what the FBI is. They're federal employees. And at the same time, we got politicians trying to crack down on crypto. But maybe this is part of the crackdown. Who's ready for F assets? Flare Labs introduced trustless Bitcoin and XRP bridge with F assets. I've been waiting for this. I think everybody in this space has been waiting for this. And it's been going, there was a lot of talk about F assets for a long time now. So Flare Labs introduces F assets, a trustless bridge solution for Bitcoin and XRP, promoting decentralization and transparency. Flare integrates ZK Bridge to enhance cross-chain security, boosting interoperability with zero-knowledge proof technology. Now, this is going to add some sort of utility to both XRP and Bitcoin. Doge is also going to become an F asset. XDC will be an F asset. I just want to see how much momentum this gets early on. And I've been anticipating this for quite a while now. Treasury official calls for federal regulations for non-bank payment service providers. Here comes the crackdown on the cash apps. Most likely this will lead to a bottleneck on cash apps because a lot of those cash apps are very shady. There's so many of them now. It's like crypto, you know, at first you had a handful. Now there's a multitude of them. So a federal regulatory framework for non-bank payment service providers is needed to reduce risk and promote innovation. Undersecretary for Domestic Finance at the U.S. Treasury Department said on Wednesday, in remarks prepared for delivery at the Chicago Payments Symposium hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, Liang said, our current state-based regulatory framework has not kept pace with the growth in new kinds of money and payments, raising risk for the integrity of the payment systems and trust in money. The state-level framework with varying requirements also raises barriers to entry, limiting competition and innovation. So on one hand, it sounds like they're trying to regulate these cash apps possibly. Maybe this also has to do with crypto in some ways. I want to see what happens as soon as this gets some momentum. Because usually you first get the news and then all of a sudden you start seeing the announcements of crackdowns on this company and that company. And that's what I'm expecting here. But I think the biggest problem is this. People are no longer putting their money into bank accounts. And the banks now want something done. They want a crackdown to happen so people start trusting in the banks again. Nothing is going to get me to ever trust the banks. We see all the problems at the banks already. Wait. Are we now to the point where Rep. Massie is literally explaining currency devaluation to the rest of Congress like it's a kindergarten science class? You gotta hear this, because this shows you how our government has, most of them don't even understand how money works. But Massie, he sums it up right here. Take a listen.
This is what happens when you have a quantity of something and then you add more to it. This is dilution. The principle is so simple that a child can understand. And you can create this little science project at home. Sorry, you can have your tea back. Okay. But the principle is called dilution. And when you print $5 trillion and you put it into the economy, you have diluted the value of the money. So for instance, if you had a minimum wage at some amount and somebody was making minimum wage and they were still making minimum wage after this money was printed, they actually are making considerably less in terms of real dollars. It's dilution. So the $5 trillion that we printed, I would argue, is the primary source of inflation. You know, we can say, well, eggs went up because feed went up, fuel went up because there's a war in Ukraine. You can find a lot of excuses for various different industries. But what is the probability that every price went up all at the same time? You can't blame them on specific supply chain problems. The thing
how do you explain the global?
Yes, I'm glad you asked me that, Professor Raskin. Because they did the same thing in Europe. They did this everywhere. They printed their own equivalents of the Federal Reserve and Treasuries, created their own money out of thin air. Mm-hmm. It may be the only thing that saved our dollar is that everybody else did the same thing to their currency. And so the question is, right now we're coming up on the debt limit. Why isn't anybody proposing to print more money? Why aren't the economists proposing to print more money? Because it is poison. When you print money, it is poison.
See, this is what I've been saying all along. People are in such a hurry to cash out their XRP into cash, into fiat. And that fiat is losing more and more value. You know, that's why inflation is not really going down. The numbers are all made up numbers by the Fed. And it's going to continue to happen because we keep creating more and more and more debt. And he's right. If somebody's earning, say, $20 an hour right now, they're not really earning $20 an hour anymore because their money is not worth $20. A $20 bill is not worth $20. And that's why passive income off of your crypto is a much better option. Because as your crypto goes up in value over time, your value, your XRP is not going to be losing value. But if you cash that XRP out into US dollars, it's going to continue to lose value. That's why I'm expecting once we get 100% safe passive income options at some point, we can all get passive income without ever selling our XRP into worthless fiat dollars. And, you know, this is going to continue to be a problem even as we push ahead, and it's going to cause the problem that leads up to the reset. Because the way the government's spending, they know a reset's coming. The Fed is telling them, A reset is coming. The other central banks in all the other countries are telling those countries, hey, listen, a reset is coming. And that's why they don't care. They don't ever expect to pay this debt off. They're just going to erase the debt. If anything, it would become tokenized and end up on a ledger somewhere. Or it'll end up being tokens, and people could buy the U.S. debt that way, whatever. But I'm sure they have a solution in place for the debt, because there's no one going to just erase this debt. There's no one's going to be quick to do it. But I think it's going to happen like an overnight event. All of a sudden, we go to sleep one day and we're in the current financial system. And tomorrow we wake up to a new financial system. And they're going to freeze everything. And bail-ins are going to happen leading into that. And we all know it's coming. And that's why I always tell you, it's so important not to sell your entire bag of XRP. It's so important not to sell too soon. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.